If you're working outside of your true calling and God's purpose for your life, you are like a thoroughbred racehorse that's hooked to a plow. Now, it's not that that horse can't pull the plow. It's a horse, a strong thoroughbred. Of course it can pull the plow. It's not incapable, it's just out of place. But unless someone leads that horse to the racetrack, how will it ever know that it was actually born to run? Now, if you're feeling stuck, miserable, out of place in your career, that feeling, that's not your enemy. That's actually a clue. And in today's video, I'm going to share a story that got me just as fired up as the person who was telling me. And it happened yesterday while I was getting a haircut. She did a pretty nice job too, I'll have to say. Hey, I'm Jason Ward, photographer, educator, entrepreneur, and author of the book, Find Your Gold Thread. And I'm on a mission to help 1 million people find their true calling, and I hope that you're one of them. I've seen this for years. A lot of people hate what they do, or at the very least, they feel stuck or out of place. I've been driving in morning commute traffic on the Dallas North Tollway or Highway 121 in a sea of cars going down the road. And I wonder to myself, how many of these people are actually going to a job they enjoy or something they love? Or how many of them are going to a job they hate? You would be shocked to know that upwards of 70% of people don't enjoy their career, or at least feel disconnected with their jobs. And yesterday, one of them literally grabbed me by the hair. I was sitting in her chair to get a much needed trim on my hair, and this lady just opened up to me. We were the first people there. She took my appointment really early, and so there was no one else in the salon, so I guess she felt comfortable telling me things like that she didn't like her manager, that they were stifling her, and they wouldn't let her ideas go anywhere. She had tons of ideas of how to make the salon operate better and get more clients and make the experience better, and they weren't hearing any of it, and she was just unloading on me. Now, in most cases, someone complaining like that while you're getting a haircut in your chair, you would think to yourself, lady, look, I didn't come here to hear you complain about your job and how people aren't listening to you. I just came to get a relaxing haircut. But this, oh my goodness, I saw this as a potential gold thread moment in the works. See, she had just come from a leadership workshop for people in her industry, in the salon industry, and it had gotten her thinking about how to make a salon operate and run more smoothly, but she realized that there was ceilings there and she wasn't going to be able to implement any of those ideas in her current state. So there come that pain index. She was getting uncomfortable of her current situation. Then I leaned in just a little bit harder and I asked this question. What do you think would happen if you were to start your own business and own your own salon? Suddenly, the energy in that room shifted. We talked about everything from her buying a piece of property and building a new building like a barn-dominium style modern metal building with commercial glass windows and stained concrete floors. We talked about how she could keep the cords from the hair dryers and curling irons up off the floor to keep the space all nice and clean and create just an amazing environment and experience for people. We talked about how she could run her team like a well-oiled machine and listen to them and treat them in a way where she wishes that she had been treated by her leaders and her management over the years. And she came alive. It was like I was awakening a lion inside this woman. By the time I left, she was on fire to do some research, look at land, and just dream a little bit and see all of her options on the table. And it was a really cool thing to see that she was looking at stepping up out of her comfort zone and making that next chapter of her gold thread happen. Now, whether she actually does it or not, I can't say. We don't know the future, and I don't know if she'll take that energy or if she'll cave to the fears and just let it go, let that dream slip away. Now, here's the question. Are you like my hair lady? Is your job and career holding you back? Do you fantasize about the day that you could go in and turn in a resignation letter to your boss and do something totally different? Now, you may not have to do something as drastic as starting a whole new business. You may be able to keep the same job title and just switch companies and get in with some better blood where you can actually thrive and all of your dreams and ideas can actually be heard. Sometimes you could even just switch departments in your current organization and find a new lane to run in. What I'm saying is it doesn't have to be a drastic leap. One small change could shift everything. Or it could be a total transformation. You may want to move across the country and start something completely new. The bigger question is, what lane do you need to run in to get to the next chapter of your true God-given calling? Now, if the thought of making a move scares you, I understand, but I found the perfect Bible verse to go along with this thought. And it is Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Now let's go back to that racehorse metaphor for a minute. What is holding you back and keeping you like that thoroughbred that's hooked up to a plow? For years, you may have conditioned yourself to stay right where you are by telling yourself things like, I have to do this to support my family. Life is tough. I just have to have grit. This is the only thing I know how to do, so I might as well just keep doing it. I just need to wait until God shows me something different. Until then, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. You see, those are the very ropes that are keeping you hooked to that plow. Now, I've noticed something in the way that God works. He'll give us a little glimpse of something down the road on the horizon, and it might seem out of reach. Then he starts putting us under pressure. He starts making us uncomfortable. He starts tightening the vise on us and making us feel the pressure, because it's kind of like that carrot and the stick on the donkey. He shows us something that we really want, and then he gets behind us and he gives us that little nudge to go forward. And it does take us out of our comfort zone, because for some reason, people, we kind of get comfortable being in a rut. It's that repeat process, rinse and repeat every single day. We can do this. We know what to do. It's almost like a weird, strange comfort zone, staying in that rut. But God wants to call us up out of that rut. Or God could really turn us upside down and dump us out into what's next to get us out of that rut. Remember Jonah? God allowed him to be swallowed up by a fish for 3 days. How's that for discomfort until you get spit out into God's actual plan for your life? Or remember Moses? He had all kinds of excuses to not do God's plan. But God had a remedy and an answer for every single one of his excuses. And here's something else. God even allowed Moses to have a buddy, Aaron, to go with him and speak on his behalf to the people to lead them out of exile. You may not have to go it alone either. Maybe it's time for you to find your Aaron, a co-founder, a colleague that you can go into the next chapter with together, someone who shares your vision. Here's the takeaway. You don't have to keep pulling that same old plow. If you're one of those stats that I mentioned earlier and you're out of place and not happy in your current role and you're stuck in traffic and you're one of those people I saw, might have waved to you years ago, then I hope this video gets you thinking and dreaming a little bit like my hairstylist on what's next. How do I get out of this mess and do something I really love? What's that open lane for you where you can run and you can thrive and not just survive? And remember, God's never going to give you a true calling that only serves you, that serves yourself. So if you're spinning your wheels trying to reach those personal goals and climb that ladder that you have in your plan, maybe time to take a little bit of reflection on that too. Because if you follow God's plan, you're not going to feel miserable. That's when you're really going to start to thrive. See, your discontent in what you're doing, it may not be that you're just not earning the income that you wanted. It could be that you're just not living up to God's potential. And He's not going to let you be comfortable until you do. If this video's got you thinking and you may want to go a little bit deeper, check out my book, Find Your Gold Thread. It's now available on Amazon in paperback, hardcover, and it's available on Audible. And by the way, that's a great thing to listen to if you're stuck in that morning rush hour traffic. If you've gotten any value from this video, I hope that you'll share it with someone else who's stuck in traffic or stuck in life so that they might get a benefit too. Hey, I'm pulling for you, and sometimes I might be stuck in traffic right beside of you. But now it's time for you to go and do the work and find out where your gold thread is headed next. And I cannot wait for you to see where it goes. I'll see you again on the next episode.